our first example is to graph y equals 2 cosecant of x plus pi over 4. So this is my amplitude. Amplitude is 2. Not shifting it up or down at all, so my max is 2, my min is negative 2. And b is 1. So that means my period is 2 pi, making my pieces pi over 2. And this tells me to shift it to the left, pi over 4. So I'm going to start at negative pi over 4, I went to the left, pi over 4. And in each piece, I'm going to add pi over 2 to my starting place. So pi over 2 is the same thing as 2 pi over 4. I just want to make sure they have a common denominator. Negative pi over 4 plus 2 pi over 4 is pi over 4, positive pi over 4. And then if I add 2 pi over 4 to that, that'll give me 3 pi over 4. And if I add 2 pi over 4 to that, that'll give me 5 pi over 4. If I add 2 pi over 4 to that, I'll get 7 pi over 4, 9 pi over 4, 11 pi over 4. Let's go back the other way. Negative 3 pi over 4, negative 5 pi over 4, negative 7 pi over 4, negative 9 pi over 4. Alright, I want you to notice though, 0 is not one of our tick marks. 0 is not a tick mark. I'm starting at negative pi over 4. And this is cosecant. I'm going to start by graphing sine. So I'm graphing sine. Sine starts in the middle. Whoops, did not want that color. I want red. I'm going to start in the middle. And I'm going to go up. Middle. 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 Up. Middle. And up. And I'm going to start by graphing it with a dotted line. And again, remember, 0 is not a tick mark. Alright, so here is my sine function. Now I want to go draw my asymptotes. My asymptotes are wherever this sine function crosses that middle line. So here are my asymptotes. And now I can go graph cosecant here, down here, up here, down there, and up here. So sorry, my graph kind of got in the way of all of my words. Here is that cosecant function. All right, next one is y equals negative 3 secant 2x minus 2. Here's my A. My amplitude is 3. This shifts my graph down 2. So now my max is no longer 3. I'm going to shift it down to my max is 1. My middle is negative 2. And my min is negative 5. All right, this is B. B is 2. So my period is 2 pi over 2, which is pi, making my pieces pi over 4. So pi over 4, 2 pi over 4 is pi over 2, 3 pi over 4, 4 pi over 4 is just pi, and then back the other way. I'm graphing secant, so I'm going to graph the cosine function. And this is negative, so that means I'm going to start at the bottom and go up. So I'm going to start down at the bottom at negative 5, go to the middle, go to the top, go middle, bottom. Alright, now I'm going to go draw my asymptotes. My asymptotes are wherever my function crosses that middle line. So I'm going to have an asymptote at negative 3 pi over 4, an asymptote at negative pi over 4, an asymptote at pi over 4, and an asymptote at 3 pi over 4. So I'm going to go graph this. Look. Like this. All right, our last one is y equals cosecant 3x minus 1. Go ahead and pause your video. This can be our retry. What I want you to do is set up your x and y axis. So figure out what's the period, what are your pieces. You can try this one. But if you can only get to setting up the x and y axis, that's fine. So go ahead and pause your video and attempt this problem. Okay, another potential bonus question would be, I guess, tell you about myself. Oh, I have one sister, and she is a speech pathologist. She lives in Dallas, and she works with little kids. She's a speech therapist, speech pathologist. So that could come up on a test as a bonus question. My sister Lauren lives in Dallas, and she's a speech therapist, speech pathologist. All right, so back to this U-try problem. This is our B. B is 3. Not 2, 3. B is 3, making our period 2 pi over 3, which would make our pieces, well, I have to take 2 pi over 3 and divide it by 4, meaning I'm going to multiply by 1/4, which would make this 2 pi over 12, which reduces to pi over 6. So each piece is pi over 6. My amplitude is 1. My amplitude is 1, and I'm shifting my function down 1. So my max is at 0, my middle is at -1, and my min is at -2. And my pieces are pi over 6, so 1 pi over 6, 2 pi over 6 is pi over 3, 3 pi over 6 is pi over 2, 4 pi over 6 is 2 pi over 3, and then we can just put those on the other side. All right, I'm graphing the sine function, so I'm going to start in the middle and go up, and here's my sine function. Now I need to go put my asymptotes wherever my function crosses the middle line. So I'm going to asymptote at, oops, I totally missed that tick mark. At negative 2 pi over 3, at negative pi over 3, at 0, at pi over 3. I'm struggling with graphing straight lines. And 2 pi over 3. That one really spaz. It's hard because I'm like sitting in front of the board, and I like cast a shadow on it, so it's hard for me to see something. That's just an excuse, but it's hard. And then I'm going to go graph my cosecant function like so. And we are done.